Hello and welcome to EDU 507, week 3. Um, Great work on the assignments. I should get to grading those here um, starting tomorrow, Monday. And I will also get to the discussion boards as soon as possible. This week we're looking at the trauma-informed classroom management. I'll quote here, the kids who need the most love will ask for it in the most unloving ways. So as I mentioned, our focus for week 3 is trauma-informed classroom management. In the Sowers and Hall text, they're going to talk about relationships. Safe enough and healthy enough relationships. They have to be consistent and predictable. They also discuss some specific strategies around page 104. Um, just remember that sometimes learning new things, new ways of doing things in your classroom, or new ways of being can be scary and takes courage. This is both for you and for the students you're working with. You have to balance relationship and accountability. You can't build such a, I would say, friendly relationship that students don't think you're going to hold them accountable. And it's hard to hold them accountable if you have no relationship with them. Teach, model, reteach, and model some more to help students develop competencies. Patience and support over the long term are key in mitigating the impact of trauma and really in all things with students. Stress. There's two types of stress. Well, there's a lot more than two, but there's bad stress and there's good stress, which is sometimes called eustress. The bad stress is unpredictable, severe, prolonged, and can lead to vulnerability. Whereas eustress is predictable, moderate, controlled, and can help build resilience. When stress overwhelms our systems because of its intensity or chronic nature, what that little thing is, we have turned a corner and we have reached the other end of the continuum. We experience toxic stress or trauma. This is a continuum here between productive stress and toxic stress and trauma, and its impact on cognitive functioning and emotional functioning. This is from the Career and Kinder text. Our learning objectives this week are to summarize the thinking behind trauma-sensitive approaches to relationships and appropriate strategies for use in raising a community of learners. How to identify signs of dysregulated behavior in children and explain how the basic principles of neurobiology of stress and trauma impact the classroom setting. Develop a personal philosophy of addressing all the needs of all learners via a trauma-informed mission and values statement. You're going to watch this video. You're going to read part 3 of Sowers and Hall and chapters 1, 2, and 10 of Career. You're going to complete the discussion board learning activities, and I would just add you're going to start working on your annotated bibliography for week 4. So discussion board number 1, please share the following. Your mission statement and values from assignment number 1 and your definition of relationship. As you considered your definition, brainstorm ways that you can be safe enough and healthy enough for all of your students. And discussion board number 2. Career and Kinder share that students who have limited sense of competency, who have experienced failure after failure in their lives, become positive feedback resistant. Share an example of strategies that have not worked with students you have supported who present as positive feedback resistant. Reflecting on what you know, what strategies suggested by Career and Kinder may have been possible good fits. So for discussion board 2, remember this doesn't have to be a current student. It could be a past student. Assignment number 2 is going to be due Saturday of week 4. Make sure you check the rubric in the syllabus. It is an annotative bibliography. This is something that isn't an assignment in most classes, but it would be a good thing for you to keep running throughout the program if you're planning on taking the program all the way to the end. Basically, an annotated bibliography, you do the APA style reference followed by a brief summary of the article or the book. And what this will allow you to do at the end is rather than having to go back and find a bunch of research for your final paper, you can actually go back and look at your annotated bibliography at things that you already read and probably find a lot of the information that we're going to be searching for. So you're going to review the academic resources available through the Concordia University Library and find 10 peer-reviewed articles about effective or exemplary teaching. 5 just teaching in general, and 5 focused on teaching learners who have experienced trauma in particular. So those 5 in general, I would like to be focused around your area of expertise, um, be that classroom, admissions, administration. 5 ways to help foster exemplary teaching or successful students, and 5 that are focused on those same people who may have experienced trauma. In the paper, you're going to provide an APA-style reference for each article, followed by a brief description or paragraph. That's the annotation, thus annotated bibliography. The purpose of the annotation is to inform the reader of the content of the article, the methodology of the study, if that's part of it, if it was a study, and the relevance of the article, including comments towards answering the program essential question. Note that after this assignment, the purpose is for you to be able to succinctly look at and remember what was in that article. After this assignment, there's not necessarily going to be another reader of your annotated bibliography. It becomes something that's for you. Each annotation should be between, I would say, 100 and 200 words, not counting the reference. Make sure you include APA formatting, a title page, reference page. There should be an introduction, but no conclusion. Don't include a reference page, sorry, because your APA citations are in the entire paper. There is an annotated bibliography in D2L as an example. I believe I showed you guys that last week. That's not Blackboard anymore. There is also in the library services in Concordia's website, there is how to create an annotated bibliography with a sample one. So if you can't find it in D2L, you can always go to library services for Concordia, and it's there. Please continue to email me anytime you have questions. I will do my best to respond to within 24 hours. And for opening remarks this week, I want to know what is one thing you realized while you were working on assignment 1. Have a great week. I hope it continues to warm up and things in general just calm down a bit.